Hello, Augies Worldwide. I'm Dave Kassler, amateur radio call sign KE0OG, here with another episode of Ask Dave. Today we address a very interesting question from Jared Gadke, N0SPC. That's a semi-German spelling, and my high school German my college German is not very good. Okay, so Jared says, greetings and salutations. He enjoys the channel. He lives in Tyrone, Nebraska, and is the only ham in his county. Now, you should make note of that, Tyrone, because there is a fairly large group of hams called county hunters, and they want to get a QSL card from every county in the U.S. There's some 3,000 of them. And they have tiers, 500, 1,000, and so on. And since you are the only ham in the county, lots of these people want to reach you. So if you publish times you're on the air, you may find yourself a very popular person. Okay. He has a question about phasing of antennas. 2 verticals, 3 verticals, 4 verticals. You can put them in any pattern that you want and phase them. And yes, you can do that. If you take, for example, 4 verticals in a square, I think it's DX Engineering makes a phasing thing just by turning a knob. You've got lots of coax to get the different phasing lines. But you can put that signal 1 of 4 places. Now, technically, the way we do this is we take pieces of coax that are 1/4 wavelength long at the frequency we want. And we switch these in and out of the system to get the 4 quadrants. Now the bandwidth on this thing is about 90 degrees, so you've got pretty much the whole thing. It is possible to phase further down to just a few degrees and sweep that, but it takes some interesting computer gyrations to do that. Plus you need basically to have a separate transmitter for each phase. They're phase locked transmitters, but then there's a defined phase delay in each one that's determined by the computer, and you can actually sweep a fairly narrow beam all the way around from your 4 or 6 or 8 antennas. Now, if you look in the antenna book, the ARRL antenna book, there's a whole section in there on phasing. The phasing doesn't, what that refers to is the phase. One antenna is half a wavelength behind the other, and you can convert that to degrees and so on. That's phasing. It is not an exercise for the faint of heart. I would recommend the 4 in a square, vertical antennas, and the phasing harnesses for each of that. And it'd be a good thing to talk to DX Engineering about, because they have some equipment that can help you do that. I know someone who built all of that himself, lives up on the Front Range, and was quite successful in doing that. But it's how to create a beam without a tower. You just need vertical antennas spaced correctly and fed correctly. You do all kinds of things with that. So there you have it for phasing. Now, I would point out that if you have 2 dipoles, one running east-west and the other running north-south, and they connect at the middle with the appropriate 90-degree phasing loop, so one antenna is fed 90 degrees out of the other, it will receive either right-hand or left-hand circular polarization, and you can switch the polarization by switching the phasing cables, putting a switch up there and running it from a cable. Okay, so what that does for you, it's all signals bouncing off the ionosphere are either right-hand or left-hand circular polarized. Everything coming off the ionosphere. It actually splits the wave into 2 waves, the ordinary wave and the, of course, extraordinary wave, the O wave or the E wave. So you've got lots of things to play with if you really get into antennas here. But to answer your question, yes, it is possible to phase the antennas, and you can do this at any frequency. At VHF, there's a thing advertised in every QST where you put 4 antennas on your roof of your car, and you get a little meter box, and it tells you the direction a signal is coming from, and it can be quite accurate. Of course, you have to play the games with signals bouncing off of things and all of that. So there you have it. I hope that's helpful. We are doing a drawing this month. The drawing will be done on the 28th during the live stream that day, and you will want to get your entry in at least a week prior, because the post office is going nutsoid in terms of delivery times. I don't know why, because if they take longer to deliver, that means they've got more mail stacked up in their warehouses, but who am I? Anyway, send a postcard, QSL card, or a single sheet of paper in an envelope to Dave Kassler, KE0OG, P.O. Box 98, Ridgeway, Colorado, 81432. Inside include your name and call sign, and the address to which you would like it shipped if you win, and your phone number in case I have any questions. I don't need your email address. Once the drawing is done, all entries are discarded and destroyed, and that way we keep this completely private. I'm not selling your information to anybody. This is private, okay? So the only thing it costs you is a postage stamp on that postcard, and then I pay the shipping to your stateside address. If you're not stateside, I will need you to pay for the shipping because it gets exorbitant going overseas. So there you have it, and until we next meet, 73.